Greetings, conscious breathers, infinite beings alike, and breath family. Greetings. So, it's been a while. It's been a long time. But we are back in Miami, prepping for Breath Dojo, it's not even super anymore, it's a scalar sound bath, that's coming up January 30th, and I wanted to dive in a little bit and talk about mental fatigue, the new scalars as well. But let's tap into mental fatigue, and it's a really big thing in the health conscious world where people are eating really, really great, right? But yet they don't feel a boost. They're always fatigued, and I can list out so many different factors. I've learned that a chronic body does not get sick, right? And I mean a chronic body. And what do I mean by that? With respect to your nutritious beliefs, whatever the case may be, a chronic body is a body that has cultivated. I'm the type of person that like to bring the scientific side of the modern world, if you want to say, and the spiritual of what you may deem spiritual. But in hindsight, everything is spiritual. Okay, so let's just case close that one. All right, so everything is spiritual. Everything has a spirit behind it. And tapping into what I was saying in terms of a pranic body is a body that has cultivated with discipline, not just rely on the externals, okay? I look at it as a strength and willpower, for sure. It definitely is a strength and willpower. And that willpower is carrying the quote-unquote practice, the discipline in cultivating biophotonic energy. That's how you really got to look at it. And that's what the body truly, truly craves. It's the biophotons. Now, I'm not going to argue about which food has more biophotons than the other, this and that. The way we're heading and the things that I am miraculously seeing is we're heading in the direction of frequency nutrition. And who knows, maybe one day I might write a book about it. Maybe not. I don't think too far into the future, but right now it's hindering me a little bit, and not hindering, but it's alluring me into writing a book because it's so fascinating seeing a type 1 diabetic in 2 weeks get off the amount of insulin he was doing to himself, and it's wild. And that's with breath work and scalar. And it took him a hard shift, but within the 2 weeks he finally took the plunge to really trust in getting more hydrated in terms of his intake of food. Told him to cut out the salts, told him to cut out the oils, and dramatic changes with scalar and the breath work. The breath work was crucial, even though he couldn't stand in front of or have the scalar session beaming at him. At least he had it in front of his water. And when he would go to work, because he worked on Wall Street, I had him do specific breathing practices while he's walking up and down, specific breathing practices while he sits, take a rest, that type of thing when he takes naps, across the street, going back and forth in New York. So that was an eye-opener for me personally, to see how maybe once upon a time, you may say, that scalar was known throughout the land, so to speak, right? In terms of how the Lemurians used it, how certain tribes use their own resonance of scalar. Going back to, you can even look back to African tribes with the Adinkra symbol. How in the world, no one knows the answer to this, but how? Well, someone you can piece the puzzles together, but it blows your mind to think that Adinkra symbols on one of the oldest African scriptures is the closest thing to binary code of what we call reality, right? And that's what quantum physics say. All quantum physicists around will tell you that Adinkra symbols is the closest thing in human existence that has brought them to quantum theory and quantum string theory. Isn't that wild? And you can look at Adinkra symbols as the equivalent to ones and zeros in terms of binary code, or what you see in the Matrix with the ones and the zeros going back and forth. So think of Adinkra symbols literally like that. How in the world did our beautiful ancestors that were not cave people, that were not just slaughtering animals for play and food back in the day and just doing nothing, going all the way back to Colorado, when I went to Colorado, with the Asanis, they just disappeared. No trace of bones, no trace of clothes, and on their walls it looks like they were opening portals, going through different dimensions and never coming back. It's the wildest thing, but that's the reality we are finally opening up to, and actually using it in a real case matter. And I am so blessed to have the tools to share it with the world as much as I can. I'm not going to say how long. I personally don't know how long. I don't know how long I can keep this up, honestly. And I am aiming to do a scalar conference very, very soon. I think I'm going to do it sometime in March when I come back from Egypt. I have a surprise, definitely for people who have their own scalars. I definitely have a surprise for you guys, especially what I'm going to be taping in the King's Chamber. That's going to be very exclusive to people who have their own scalars. So I want to touch into a little bit into fatigue, mental fatigue, and all the different factors that may lead up to mental fatigue. Now, I have a saying, what you do frequently is your frequency, right? Now, only like once in a while, I'll have a few friends, not once in a while, but it's not that often, but a few times I have friends around me and I hear, I'm hungry. Now let's start with that. It's a brand new year. It's a beautiful path that we have available to us. Blessed for those who have made it into this year. Blessings to all of you. So let's start with I'm hungry, right? I've worked with people who have major eating disorders, okay? Major eating disorders. Major. And I took hunger out of their vocabulary. Why? Well, it's not just food you're hungry for, right? It's not just food you're hungry for. Just like people that can't have a hard time quitting smoking, or for my weed smokers out there, people who can be honest with themselves and say, man, I'm actually addicted to this and I have a hard time breaking it apart. So I keep telling people, you're not addicted to the actual substance, you're not addicted to this, you're not addicted to that. And I hate weed. Yeah. You're not addicted to this, you're not addicted to that. You're more addicted to the breathing pattern. Now, Jen, my partner, she smokes once in a while, right? And I've noticed whenever she smokes, compared to most people, whoever she's smoking with, she doesn't feel fatigue because she actually does the breath work. I personally don't smoke anymore, but she does once in a blue moon. And we both just had that epiphany a couple days ago. We're like, hey, I don't feel tired. Why is this? Why is that? Right? Well, I'm like, you do breath work, so that's why. But it doesn't give you the green light to, hey, let me just take on more, you know. Honestly, some people may look at smoking weed as plant medicine, some people doesn't. But regardless, whatever substance you're on, breath work helps balance it out, make you have even a deeper experience too, to the point where if you honestly do breath work on smoking weed, I've done it. I've actually done it. This was the last thing I smoked was Lotus. It was Blue Lotus. I told myself, well, if it's gonna be the last time I smoke, I'm gonna smoke Lotus and Sage. And I smoked weed for the very last time, and I did breath work on that, and then I did breath work on Sage, and then I did breath work on Lotus. And the Lotus was very interesting. But I can tell you, I did the same exact for each different strain that I used to smoke. And you could tell the difference of where each strain takes you, in a sense. And to me personally, that showed me that different plant medicines have different journeys, so to speak. No matter how you're intaking it back and forth in a way. They all do. I don't encourage smoking. For people who are really trying to get off the weed or whatever, try to rub it on your skin. Rub it on your third eye. Rub it in your belly button. Going to sleep. And you will have either more control of your dreams or more zen dreams, however you want to describe it in that sense. But but let's go back to the mental fatigue. So how the mental fatigue plays into what I was talking about with Jen. A lot of people like to say, I'm tired, right? Or why not say, hey, my body could use a rest, instead of saying I'm tired. Instead of saying I'm hungry, hey, my body could use some nourishment right now. Hey, instead of saying I'm angry at this person right now. Well, you have every right to be angry. But yeah, you could say, yes, I'm angry at this person, and I'm going to look for a way to resolve this issue or move past it. Actually say that to yourself, rather than letting it be stuck in a particular set in your subconscious mind. Stop saying I'm hungry. Stop saying I'm tired. I'm going to challenge you guys. 30-day challenge. Stop saying those two things. If you're one of those people that are saying those two things, I am challenging you for 30 days. And within those 30 days, holla at me, leave a comment, DM me, whatever the case may be, and you will notice a huge shift. Just that simple guide right there. Stop saying I'm hungry, because there is an abundance of energy around you. And it's not just you're saying hungry to food. Everything in hindsight is food, right? Like I said, you are addicted to breathing patterns when it comes to certain addictions to food, or you may perceive as food. Everything's food. From the sun hitting my eyes, that's food. From the air touching my skin, that's food. From me actually watching certain fractals to stimulate certain parts of my brain and nourish certain parts of my brain, that's food. From going to maybe a comedy skit or something and I'm laughing nonstop, that's food, because it's relieving some of my stress. That's food. All right, it's hanging around with like-minded, beautiful, powerful souls. That's food. That's nourishment, where you don't have to belittle yourself, where you don't have to be hard on yourself or be in survival mode in terms of your environment. That is food, because your brain is always thriving and growing. With certain surroundings of friends, it's a little bit tricky, but for most part, you always want to, regardless, you always want to surround yourself with kind-hearted people. not just kind-hearted, but intentional-hearted people. You know, there are some people I may be friends with, and some people may look at that person as vulgar, but in hindsight, I truly see the in-depth beauty of what that person has, and in terms of value, in that sense of what we give to each other, that's food, that's nourishment. You know, when you're always growing in the sense of your conversations, it doesn't even have to be a monetary thing. It doesn't even have to be, oh, I'm getting this out of this person, so this is this. It doesn't have to be like that. That's food. Because there's less restrictions on those type of relationships. Less restrictions equal massive growth. So mental fatigue plays a huge component to where you are going, where you are trying to go, what are you attracting to yourself. Stop saying I'm hungry. It's not just you're saying I'm hungry because of my stomach. You're saying I'm hungry because of my soul. You're saying I'm hungry. You're feeding into a lack of perception reality. Me and Jen, we don't say that. Oh, well, she doesn't say that. I pushed her to really see the value in it, and it took a good 2 months, actually 2 months, because she used to work in the restaurant business. So to show her that side was a huge eye-opener, especially when she did her first time doing 30-day raw, right? I told her, hey, don't say I'm hungry. Don't say that. Just say like, hey, my body needs nourishment, and you just give it nourishment. It's that simple. Why feed? Because look at this. You're saying you're hungry, and then you go eat something, right? In a sense, that energetic ripple is because the reason why you're eating is because you literally said you're hungry, right? Or you could have said, my body needs more nourishment. You see how that ripple takes effect in that sense? You see where I'm going with this? Where your intentions, your intention leading to the action is so key and crucial. Going back to the people I helped with eating disorders. So crucial. The things you say before going to bed. The things you watch before going to bed. The things I'm saying right now is so fire. They gotta call the fire department right now. They gotta call the fire department right now. So, I say that to say, mental fatigue not only plays a role in you repeating cycles after cycles, but it plays an overall role in your path to wherever you are going. Because when you keep saying I'm hungry, you are not just saying I'm hungry for the stomach. I'm hungry in the sense of you're trying to feed a bottomless pit. When in hindsight, you are truly abundant. Truly abundant. You know, I remember the times when I used to be homeless. Not once I said I was hungry. And this was literally, 2 weeks before actually meeting my Sifu at the time. Right? Never said I was hungry. And when I did my going back to that first breath session, I honestly didn't want to do anything. Because that was like the first time I felt such a huge shift in my body. I just wanted to be still and just be. Just be. Right? Your mind, the start of the waves of thought. Now the waves of thought, the head, that's the antenna, right? From here, thoughts coming in, thought patterns, scalar wave, however you want to describe it, boom, starts here, however you perceive reality, and then goes all the way into the rest of the body. It starts here in the mind. So let's tap into, hi from Russia, thank you for this information. Hello from Miami. Nati Keys, what's going on, brother? Nati Keys is part of Breath Family. Haven't seen you in a while. Speaking of Breath Family, we have Brett Dojo 5 coming around the corner, January 21st. We start 3 a.m. Eastern Time. You can hop in whenever you want, hop out whenever you want. We literally have a session every 3 hours. We have an Alchemy Breathwork session every 3 hours. Every 3 hours. Nanti, if you want to comment your experiences with Brett Dojo already, brother, please do comment. Yeah, so Breath Dojo is in the Breath Family members group, and it's available for playback. I also do personal Breath Dojo, so if you're one of those people that want to do a whole... Nati goes looking forward, but if you want to do a whole day of a Breath Dojo personalized for you, what do is we hop on a call first when you purchase it. We hop on a call, you tell me, we go into detail of, hey, what's your daily life like, and then I personalize the Breath Dojo, and we go at it the whole day. I literally clear my schedule just for that person, and we literally do a whole day every 3 hours of Alchemy Breathwork. And again, if you guys are new to my page, Alchemy Breathwork is purely parasympathetic nasal breathing. We have over hundreds of different styles going into it, and it's only evolving. If anything, it's getting better and better the reasoning is that's where the breath is leading me. That's one of my affirmations. It gets better with every breath. I like to say that the breath, till this day, is still teaching me. And my seafood took that one. He took that line. He's like, I love it. You know, if the breath itself and our natural, or quote unquote, our life cycles, just use it over and over and over again, it has a lot to teach. You just have to be open to it, and it can bring you to many different places you never saw it coming. And those places are different for everybody. Those places are different in terms of their perception, their attractions. But man, just doing this for so long, being able to witness so many transformations of what people are attracting into their lives and what they're building, utilizing these type of breath mechanics in their everyday life beyond the sit-down session. Oh, let me be here for 1 minute, 1 hour, and be like, oh, okay. Beyond that, really expressing and vocalizing their multi-dimensionality. That is what. Oh, that's a good one. The Alchemy Breathwork helps you express your multi-dimensional layers in everyday life, utilizing quantum breathing. I remember I had this guy. There's two stories of this. I had this guy in Chipotle who used to work at Chipotle, and we did a 3-month session. In the second month, this guy became so motivated, and it will tie it back to mental fatigue, but he got so motivated. He started renting cars, and then renting cars on top of renting cars, using certain breathing mechanics of his actual job in Chipotle. Because I'll give you a quick hindsight of mental breathwork in this sense. Just accept the fact that everything in your reality took a breath to create. Everything. And if you haven't heard me talk about the Eiffel Tower real quick, let's dive into that. So the Eiffel Tower took about a certain amount of years to build, but it took $1.4 million to build. Okay, 1.4 million back in that time. Who knows how much the inflation has increased now, but 1.4 million back then. And you take the average worker and you take the average breaths per day, okay, and you multiply that of how many years it took to create the Eiffel Tower, you get 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion breaths. And you think you get close to 1.4 billion breaths, and you think that's a coincidence. No, it's not. So everything around you, it took one breath, at least a breath, a couple breaths to create. So every time you walk into a new building, give gratitude to the fact that it took this many breaths to create this building. It took this many breaths for me to just be created, being in this world. It took this many breaths for this car to be built. It took this many breaths for this phone to be built. See, you have an abundance of gratitude just right in front of your face. Can you imagine, all of us, we're at the point if we're really being real with ourselves, we're at the point where we have intertwined DNA all over the place, all over the world in this sense. And most of our ancestors, have struggled in really tough times. And imagine their breathing back then when times were really rough, when times were on the edge, when times were so close to death. And it's wild when you look at our ancient ancestors, and that was a time when they were probably breathing as free as a bumblebee, to the point where they didn't really have to worry about work. They worried about other things in terms of, every time I talk about this, I always think about that piece in Egypt where they have the prong sticking in the pineal gland and it goes right down to the earth. They were literally focused on frequencies. They were focused on beyond the external consumption. They were beyond all that. So your quality of breath determines your quality of thoughts, and your quality of thoughts determines your quality of actions. The breath is the starting domino to our reality in terms of what you attract, how you attract, why you attract certain things. What you breathe life into it's all your fault. So I encourage all of you to take responsibility, take accountability. You don't need to blame I'm about to say Mecca. You don't need to blame Mercury retrograde. You don't need to blame this planet. You don't need to blame that planet. Hey, all the planets breathe, right? I actually had multiple astrologies that were going through some pretty deep depressions and stuff like that, right? And I told them, well, hey, on this planet, there's air, right? Hypothetically, on the other planets NASA claim or whatever, there's air, right? Well, regardless, there's air everywhere, right? Even in depths of space, there's somewhat particles of multiple different substances, including the aerodynamic, however you want to describe that. Okay, so they're also breathing, so you could use them. It's like a lot of people ask me, how do you go into crowds? How do you be social when you're living this lifestyle? Well, I don't look down on anybody. That's one. The next thing, how do I do that as well, is to also remind myself that everyone here is breathing. That's one of my mantras. That person's breathing. That person's breathing. That person's breathing. That person's breathing. And if you do that in a sense, especially if you don't have the best social cues. I worked with business moguls that don't have the best social cues, and they always like to hire somebody to do things for them and stuff. And you'd be surprised. There's some people that have some powerful positions in their business, and they don't have good social structure, and they end up actually doing pretty harmful things later down the line. And it's a beautiful thing when people now these days can actually take accountability for their mental health and see that, hey, if I go down this road, it's going to lead to this chaos. I'm going to get fired. I'm going to do this, that. It's a beautiful thing, beautiful age. So, again, what you do frequently is your frequency. Stop saying I'm hungry. Going back to the challenge. Stop saying I'm hungry. Stop saying I'm tired. If you're tired, say that, hey, my body could use recharging rest. Okay? Set the intention and do it, because that's what's happening. You're setting the intention and you're doing it. And watch. I challenge you. 30-day challenge. Stop saying I'm hungry. Stop saying I'm tired. Just those two things. It's a great start for most people. Just those two things. You don't have to say I'm tired. You can say that, hey, my body needs recharging right now. Let me go take a nap. Let me go do some breath work. That's it. Stop feeding into that wolf. You have two wolves. You can only pick one. I'm sorry, you can only pick one. You can't have both hands in the cookie jar. Well, you can, but you want the right. If there's two hands, it's getting stuck in the cookie jar, right? One hand, one focus, one drive. Growth. A lot of people say that a lot of people are addicted to healing, right? But I like to look at it as, at least in my personal life, I like to look at it as I'm addicted to growth. Healing is the byproduct. Growth comes with the healing. Boom. It's our natural occurrence. It's our natural divinity. Hey Kimmy, what's going on, sister? Mathematically, we are air. Yes. Yes. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you breathe more or do you eat more? Real honest question. Do you breathe more or do you eat more? You breathe more, right? So, the more things that you do plays a huge, crucial role on how you do it and the quality of it. So why not take advantage of the quality of your breath in real time, beyond the sit-down session? I'm telling you, tap into Breath Dojo. Breath Dojo, if you're a beginner, it's going to be beautiful. Even if you are somewhat skilled, it's going to be beautiful. Even if you are an expert, it's going to be beautiful. I've had Qigong masters, Pranayama masters, part of in Breath Dojo, and they rave. They love it. So tap in if you're any of those. All levels of breathwork is welcome. If anybody wants to go live right now, talk about mental fatigue, you're more than welcome to hit the request button. It's been a while. I would love, it'd be the first collaborator to hop on in this live, because it's been a long time. And I gotta show you this view right now. Look at that view. So right now I am solar charging. A great tip for active sun gazers. One of my favorites is Jesus's anointing technique that he did for sun gazing. And they call it the crossing, or the anointing. And why they call it the anointing? Try this. On your exhales, you want to cross your eyes. On your inhales, let go. On your exhales, cross. Inhales, let go. Exhale, cross. Inhale, let go. And when you do that, you're seeing two suns, right? And not only that, you're also stretching your eyes in a sense. And when they stretch, they can absorb even more of the biophotons that one way. Just another tip starting off the new year. That's another challenge for you guys. Try to catch a sunrise, try to catch a sunset. That's it. Just try to catch those two. And then you'll build that up, build that up, build that up, build that up. I have sun gazing protocols. That's also in the Breath Family members group. Somebody wants to hop on. Kimmy wants to hop on.
Oh shit. Okay, hello.
Yeah, we doing this.
Here I am.
We doing this. Hey sis.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. It's good to be back.
Nice. Back where? Back in Instagram Live or back in Miami?
No, Miami.
Oh, nice. Where'd you go?
The DR, Dominican Republic.
Oh, yeah, you were posting from there. Okay, so what's happening there? I saw that.
Just enjoying the new year, birthday vibes. So it was really good.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you. Birthday month.
So is that where the commune's going to be? That's where we're all moving?
Oh, DR? Maybe I am. I'm looking at land over there for sure to build some pyramid houses or a house. And then I'll look at definitely Jamaica. I have so many roots in Jamaica. Honestly, Jamaica might come before DR. And then maybe Mexico. I have Mexico in mind, but a lot of people are flooding to Mexico right now. So I just got a call from Venezuela, so maybe Venezuela is another one for sure. So not the goal, but if I can, definitely a lot of pyramid houses in every country.
Okay, I don't know about the pyramid houses, but I'm gearing up and like thinking about where I want to buy land as well, and just start that long-term plan. Yeah,
a great tip for you guys to help push you guys into this is if you buy land in the US, you're always paying taxes off the US. So technically you're leasing from the US. No matter if you quote unquote own the land, you're still paying year after year. If you buy land outside the US, most likely you will actually own the land and you don't have to pay anything extra. So that's a beautiful thing about owning land elsewhere, in my opinion. That's why I honestly may not own a house here in the US. I'm really looking outside for sure.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise on that. There's actually a lot of different opportunities. I know like Portugal, a lot of people have spoken about, and I won't even put on the map where people are telling me because sometimes that's not good either. But yeah, I'd love to stay in contact on that. And what else is going on with you?
So much. But you were on the scaler. Do you want to give your feedback on being on the scaler and your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, I came to the sound healing, which was so beautiful, and your partner's voice, like I just still think about her voice, honestly, it's so beautiful. I love the group intention. I love that the sound was coming from all different corners of the room. The scaler was also involved. I feel like I couldn't, fully decipher what was scalar and what was sound. What is group intentionality, but also like, do I need to decipher? Do I need to?
No. if anything, it just amplifies the environment of what we're doing. So it's a beautiful thing to have. Sure.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I wanted to make the last one, but I was unable to. Do you have any more coming up?
January 30th. That's the next one.
Okay, nice.
It might be the last one, honestly, for a while, because I know February I have my retreat, and Jen, she might be leaving after the retreat, literally right after. So maybe I can squeeze in something there, and then I have Egypt in March.
Yeah, tell me about Egypt. I'm so interested. I saw that post. I was like, oh, now I got to go to Egypt again. I went once, and it was during the pandemic. And it was so special because there was nobody there, which is like when
Wow.
the pyramids, and it was me and 3 friends, Sandra, who you know, and we held an Om inside the pyramid of Giza, and there was nobody in there, and I was just like, wow, this is a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
It was
because I heard normally, because I spoke to so many people going here. That's how intentional I really am, stepping barefoot into Egypt. So many people told me that they don't allow you to like sit down and meditate. They'll like tell you to stop. Like you got to get up. You can't stay in like one spot too much over there. So I heard about that. So just hearing your experience doing that and having the pyramids all for yourself, that's a beautiful, definitely once in a lifetime. Do you want to share what you felt? What was the experience?
Well, just like the reverb in the pyramid when that happened, you know, it was just like when you transcend time and space. It was really nice. I actually got a tattoo from my birthday when I was in Egypt of the Pyramid of Giza down my spine, like the longitude, latitude, because that's how meaningful it was for my trip there. It was so special.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they say the latitude, the longitude of the pyramid is the same as the speed of light. So I just really love that as well.
Thank you for reminding me, because now I know I can add something else to my scalar when I go in there. I totally forgot about the longitude, latitude thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But you're down the Nile River, right? Because I'm super into doing like Aswan and Luxor.
Ooh. So I just found this out literally when I posted the cruise ship, which was about a week ago. I didn't even know we were actually going on a cruise. I thought we were just going through a whole tour type of thing, but it's going to be on a cruise, and every day we're just docking and going to all the different pyramids.
When is this exactly?
March 13th.
Okay. Seeds are planted.
Yes.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
I always love being inspired. I feel like as much as we know all of the tools, you always bring me back to the breath, and that's one thing that I find I quickly get away from, and yoga, meditation, all the things, but it's like, how can I stay connected to this with every day, when I'm working, when I'm with whatever it is, and that's like been a really main focus of mine, is just that breath and presence. So thank you.
Powerful, sister. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when we can intertwine our quote-unquote spiritual life in the sense, and actually give it to all dimensions of our lives rather than compartmentalize it. If we're in that construct of compartmentalizing spirituality in that sense, we, in my opinion, I feel constricted in a sense, and I can't really feel that expansion, and that's so important, especially in these modern times, to get a grasp of and bring every sense of intention into everything we do. Because I've seen just even the business side of the world, and I've seen business intentional people as well, but maybe they're not intentional with their eating and stuff like that, into their lifestyle outside of work. So
and I give advice, I have my own community, and like,
yes,
we can say it, but also like, I need someone like you to remind me, and that's why, it's good that we're all uplifting each other in this way, because I can give so much advice on these things, but then for myself too, it's like, I also need my, my anchors and the frequency being held in that way for me, which you do. So
thank you, sister.
Nice to see you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, peace.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. All right. Time-wise. Oh, okay. Pretty good on time. Have one more person hopping in. And then they disappeared. Not sure where they went. Ella, would be so much appreciated if you could advise how you are able to travel so freely. DM me and we can talk. Time is an illusion. Hey, what's going on, David? Long time no see, brother. Time. Going back to time. Hey, Devon, I'm curious if also did your nose shape change? If yes, what features did I notice? Great question. Now, I could never do this for about the last 2 years. And mind you, I've been on this journey for almost 8 years, okay? So if I could finally do this in the last 2 years, it's like building a muscle. It's like building a muscle. This is one of my muscles. For me personally, in terms of my nose shape, I didn't really notice that much of a difference. But in the sense of muscle-wise, like internally, definitely. Like I'm at the point where I can almost like curve up like one side of my nose by itself and go like back and forth without moving my mouth. That's not moving my mouth. But I'm practicing that a little bit. So I'll tell you, facial structure, yes. Facial structure, yes. My face is definitely more defined because of pure nasal breathing rather than mouth breathing. I remember I probably weighed a lot more too. Back then, like I had a little sag, like right under my chin a little bit. I had a little sag right there. So that was because of mouth breathing. So over the past 8 years, my face is definitely redefined. And even Jen is so dramatic of her before and after pictures. We got to get that going on. But her facial features is like way more defined in a year span. So mind you, she's with me at my peak, right? I don't want to say peak, but I'm just so enveloped in breath consciousness. So it's a blessing to even have a partner that does the breath with me, going back and forth. Gerald, basing the plants, it's hopping on while it's about to rain. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Devon, man? How you doing?
I am great. It feels great to be back in the States.
That's what's up, man. How was the Dominican Republic?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of close calls when you're driving over there, for sure.
Oh, damn. Crazy driving?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought New York was the worst, but I totally forgot how the Caribbean in general is pretty wild.
New York was scary, too. I was with the locals. I was with Jason and 2J. And
oh,
they
yeah.
were just,
I can imagine how Jason drives. I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So, no, and he was having a full-on conversation with me while maintaining eye contact with me while driving through. Like
he would.
Driving through construction. Yeah.
He would. He definitely would.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah. So apparently we're gonna be getting together next month, man, for some time together, man.
Yes, it's gonna be a wild retreat. You know, I like to bring something new to all my retreats and do something I haven't done before. So for this one in particular, I have so many scalers now. So now I want to go out in the middle of nowhere and turn on the scalers, and we have a session there and really immerse ourselves of what is possible. You know, if one day we had all the cell towers knocked down or something, or we had more harmonious network, you know, we really, in my opinion, the scalar would just magnify. I can only imagine. But what Scalar has done and showed me was the fact that to have accountability for ourselves and recognize that we live on a planet that has so many cell towers all around. Doesn't matter how far you are deep in the jungle, that wave of energy is still hidden. It's still hidden. And I didn't realize this until I had one of my friends in Sifu turn on the Scalar in a remote mountain. Okay, and this is a master. All right, this is a master that can feel the mountains, create fire with his hands, you name it. So when he turned it on, you can hear a high pitch. You can finally hear a high pitch. And we had a deep conversation about this. And I told him, like, hey, we live on a planet that has so many cell towers beaming, creating waves. So you can only imagine how many different layers is being placed on this grid, right? That's why we have Brother Gaia and Wizard Tribe, you know, going all around, actually planning beautiful things on the energetic grid in a harmonious way. We got to get to the point where we go to every cell tower we see and just plant some harmonious things there, you know, no matter what, beyond the grid. And that's where it's gonna head, you know. That's where we're heading. And it's a beautiful thing to see community grow like this. And I'm also, you know, putting Scalars out there as well, and seeing doctors' offices now, you know, having Scalar tech in there as well. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We are part of the future. We are the future. We don't have to wait for it. We don't have to say, oh, we wish we had this and this. Like, whenever you find yourself enveloped in that state of mind, say like, hey, what can I do immediately, even if it's a really small, little, tiny step to get to that state of being.
We are definitely ushering it in.
Yes, and that tiny step is one breath at a time. Take it one breath at a time. That is my biggest gift to you guys. But yeah, Gerald, do you want to tap in? Do you want to tap in? I want you to also tap in real quick and talk about mental fatigue, because I was just telling everyone to say, I'm giving them a challenge. Hey, stop saying I'm hungry. Stop saying I'm tired. Instead of saying I'm hungry, say I'm going to get nourished by doing some breath work. Or my body needs nourishment right now, doing breath work, or taking this drink right now. Because whatever you say before you actually do the thing is connected with the thing.
You're giving me what I need right when I need it, man. You're giving me what I need when I need it, because it's the shift in thinking that's like the main thing, right? It's not that I need to indulge in food after a hard day's work. It's just that I'm used to giving myself that indulgence. So if I just shift my thinking into, I'm going to give myself some breath work and just keep, you know, like you were saying, the layers, just keep layering that in. I'm going to give myself the gift of breath work. Now when I don't eat after a hard day's work, I don't feel like I'm losing something. I don't feel like I lost something. In fact, I feel like I'm getting more than ever. So speaking of mental, you were saying mental, what was it? Endurance or mental toughness? It's like
mental fatigue.
Mental fatigue. It's like, how much of that fatigue are we causing on ourselves just by how we're preset to maybe give ourselves rewards? Like, we're causing our own mental fatigue with the way we reward ourselves, and that's just me calling myself out, like realizing like, you can just take a little mental switch, dude. It's powerful.
With respect to all different calendars, whether you believe Gregorian or not, look how fast a year went by. How fast it went by,
man.
So that one tiny step, starting right now,
right?
Like
that one little
impact.
shift, dude. Yes, like don't discount the power of the mental shift. This is why, like, I go over it all the time. Like all of the instructions and all of the courses we could take and all of that takes a lot of time. It's like the long way. It's like going the long route. But then making the mental switch is like the instant. It's kind of like scalar technology. It's like instant. It's like you're instantly there once you make the mental switch.
I had a friend when we were in DR, and she was saying, oh, by the time we come back, we're going to get tired. I'm like, we're not even there yet. It didn't even happen yet.
Oh, shoot.
Like, why are you projecting this?
True. That's true. It's a habit right there. It's a habit right there. It's like, ah, like, so how many people look at travel that way? They just think about all of the inconvenient stuff. It's like there's so much you can be fulfilled with travel. It's like you don't even need to focus on any of that. I even saw people in the chat like, how are you able to travel during all this lockdown? It's like, dude, how are you not able to travel? Has anybody physically held you back? Like, have you tried to travel? Like, checked for yourself? Like, I'm telling you, like half the restrictions are theater. You know, if you were really to try just go out and travel, you'd realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many things I want to say on here, but you know.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm already
shadow banned hard. So
yeah,
so
I'm
many
shadow
things.
banned too. So you know what, man? I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna see you next month though for that retreat, man. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait. And man, see you soon.
All right, brother. I'm gonna log out here, and I want to thank everyone for hopping on. Thank you all for sharing the breath. Peace.
So if anyone is thinking about getting them, let me tell you, it is a game changer. There are the frequency breathers, you know, it's interesting. I don't feel it as much with the battery, but when I plug it into my phone with the frequencies going, holy Moses, it just like is this, it goes through every part of my, it's like this cooling, I can feel it go through my whole head. The first time I put it on, I was laying down and I got this twitching in my third eye, lots of twitching. And then over on the left side above my ear, like it was clearing something. And I'm going to show you.